So hello everybody. I just can see that many of you have been already with us in the last seminar on Tuesday, but I also can see a lot of news. So I welcome all of you. We are really happy to have you with us. And thanks for your time and for your interest in the news of Endress+Hauser and their instruments. Today, we like you to choose according to your needs for flow instruments. We like to give you an update about the news in flow and maybe some interesting information about nice applications and how we can solve problems in your facilities. That's the main goal. Before we start, let me show you a little bit how the tool is working. Yeah, you can increase and decrease the webcam window on the left-hand side. What you can do as well, we already uploaded the presentation of today, so you can download the presentation right now if you like on the window on the left-hand side. Whenever you have a question, please type your question in the chat box. Maybe we will answer it in the chat directly with you. Sometimes when we have the feeling, this could be interesting for everybody, then we will have at the very end a question and answer session where we will go through the questions and then give an answer to all the open questions. In case there are too many questions and the time is running off, then we will go and contact you via email later on. So finally, we like to take care on all the questions, of course. For your information as well, this session will be recorded. So we do a recording, we store the recording on our webpage. That means you can see this seminar whenever you like to. You will get the information via email when the recording is finalized. Will maybe take until end of this week. But you can also share this information then with colleagues in your department, or whenever you have the feeling, this could be maybe interesting for someone else, let them know. And also these people then can see this recording and can get this information. Yeah, who are the presenters of today? That is me. My name is Matthias Schützeberg. I am the Industry Development Manager for Food and Beverage in Endress+Hauser Group Services in Rheinach in Switzerland. I'm doing this since almost 33 years now in the food industry. But today I am not the presenter really, I'm the moderator. I'm taking care on the technique and hopefully I can manage everything. The speakers coming from the product center of Flow. So you have the real specialists, which is Hege, Bjønnes and Ronen, Hurni. And I think I just give over to you. So maybe Hege, you can start, floor is yours. Thank you guys for your presentation.
Hi, thank you, Matthias. Welcome from my side as well. As Matthias said, my name is Hege Bjønnes. I work in the Endress+Hauser Flow. I started in a company more than 25 years ago, always in flow measurement, and now in the role of industry manager for food and beverage. So welcome again.
Yeah, my name is Ronen. Yeah, so my name is Ronen. I'm working at Endress now since around 9 years, mainly in product management, first for Coriolis and now for electromagnetic flowmeters. And yeah, looking forward to the session. I'll go over and we will start with a poll, and we will have 3 of them today, so it's a little bit interactive. And what we would like you to do is you can use this QR code or click on the link in the chat, which Matthias provided, and then you can select in which segment in food and beverage you're active. So we would like to know which areas you're working at, so just that we have a quick overview. So you can use your smartphones and yeah, scan the QR code or use the link directly, which was provided in the chat. And we'll see now directly live how it's where you are from, which areas. Yeah, see here it's quite mixed. For now, dairy products is leading, and I'll give it a few more seconds. So we are totally here 100 people, 16 participated in the poll, so please use this. I'll let it run still for a little bit. And we will have 2 more of this kind of polls later on. It will be the same link, the same QR code. So keep either your phone close by or afterwards, just use the same link. Huh? As soon as we get to 30, I hope, I will go further. Great. And we see mainly people from dairy products, area engineering service providers as well. And yeah, so quite mixed group. Yeah, thank you very much for this active start. And I'll hand over now to Hege, which will do the introduction and which will do the first part of the presentation, and you will hear from me later on.
Thank you, Ronen. Yeah, I'm happy to see that there's a bit of a mixed group. Therefore, also I'll give a more general overview of different flow instruments, and then later on today we will focus on go a little bit more in depth on some new developments, and also talk a little bit about inline quality with flow measurements, so multi-variable, and some specific topics around challenges in applications. But to start off, we have 5 flow principles from Endress+Hauser, and Coriolis and Electromagnetic is the 2 main instruments used in food and beverage. Starting with Coriolis, it's a mass flow meter, a direct mass flow meter, and can also measure density and temperature. One of the advantages is also that it is independent on flow profile, so you don't need any straight inlet runs with the Coriolis meter. The most common instruments for flow in food is electromagnetic, which is a volumetric flow measurement principle for conductive liquids. And picture shown here is a hygienic version, but as with Coriolis, it's hygienic and also for process instrumentation in various industries, or for water as well. So there are different versions of these instruments. Moving to vortex meters, vortex meter can measure steam, liquids, and gases, both non-conductive and conductive liquids. In food, the most common application in food is steam applications, where also for the ProWell wet steam functionality, where you can look at the quality of steam, is an interesting feature. Then we have ultrasonic meters, both inline and clamp-on for liquids, and also instruments for gas. And last but not least, we have the thermal meters, gas flow. Main application here in food is around compressed air, but also some processed gases as well. And then I'd like to, next please, Ron. Yeah, I'd like to show you a little bit of an overview of the hygienic instruments. So as I mentioned, Coriolis and mag meters are the 2 most used principles in food, especially in the main processes, for the main products, or whether it's raw material, intermediate, or final product measurements. A lot of these processes are of course hygienic and have different requirements and hygienic design. And I start with the electromagnetics on the bottom left. This is the Promac H, it's a hygienic mag meter, so measurement of conductive liquids, fulfills the highest hygienic standards like design, EHEDG, and 3A certification, and also compliant to food contact materials like Chinese food contacts, European food contact materials, and FDA. And on the top, we have a range of different Coriolis meters. Coriolis has a larger range of hygienic instruments, also because of a variety of different applications where this can be used, and also the advanced functionalities on inline quality requires also different designs. Starting with the Promac E on the left-hand side. So for basic hygienic applications, it's a very compact instrument, low cost of ownership, have all the advantages of a Coriolis meter in terms of direct mass flow, density measurement, and compact installation. Promac F is the most commonly used as the most broadest application range as well. And in the hygienic design, it's dedicated for food and beverage industry. We have also the Promac S, which is a single tube meter in stainless steel, where a single tube meter is important. So the Promac E and the Promac F is a dual tube Coriolis meter. Promac S is a single tube. The 3 meters on the right are a little bit more for specialized advanced applications. So Promac I is a straight single tube Coriolis meter, but in addition to mass flow and density, it can also measure inline viscosity. And Promac A is a small Coriolis meter for example, dosing of additives or flavors, and is available in 1 millimeter up to 4 millimeter diameter. So very, very accurate measurements of small flow is the Promac A. And last but not least, the Promac Q, which I will later on go a little bit more in detail on, is specially developed for challenging applications around entrained gas, but also for very accurate density measurement used for concentration measurement, for example. And also all these Coriolis meters fulfill the design of EHED3, 3A, and all the food contact material requirements. Moving to the transmitter, so there's a line of transmitters for these sensors. We have the Proline 100, which is the most compact version of the 3. Smallest footprint is available in also hygienic housing IP69. And it comes with or without the display option. The Proline 300 is a compact transmitter, 4-line display, and touch control local HMI. And then the Proline 500, that is the remote version, comes with the highest numbers of IOs, 4 IOs in total. And all these transmitters are on a common platform and available with a variety of different options for digital communication. So in addition to HART or more traditional communication protocols like Profibus, also Ethernet IP and Profinet is available on these transmitters. Also part of the offering on the Proline is the heartbeat technology. Heartbeat technology is divided into 3 blocks. So starting with the diagnostics, that's the onboard diagnostics functionality in the meter, continuously looking at the health of the instruments and gives warnings or error message in case something is wrong. Then the second one is the verification. This is an on-demand verification that you can start without interrupting the process and also can generate a report. Here, it's, for example, can be done as a general routine, as a means to extend calibration intervals, but also, for example, in the beginning of a batch. The last block is the monitoring, heartbeat monitoring. That is a way to track and trend certain diagnostics functions to look if something is changing in the process and to be able to react to any changes that changes the condition in the process of the instrument over time.
Yes, so I will take quickly over. That's the second poll already. Hege mentioned that we have different communication protocols used in our devices, and we would like to know from you what kind of communication protocol do you use in your device. And here we would like you to also use the QR code, scan the QR code, or the link which was provided, and to state which communication protocols you're using. Yeah. Great, so that's going a bit faster. Let's see. People get used to the tool. Great, so a lot of analog, which I can see. And then also Ethernet IP, very much used, but also IO-Link, which will come to this topic also later on in this presentation. Yeah. Great. So yeah, Ethernet IP. Okay, I'm quite surprised. Used very much. Good. So we have 40 people out of 127. I think this gives us already quite a good overview here, and I would like to then hand over again to Hege to continue with some interesting information about more challenging applications with our Promac Q.
Yes, thanks, Ron. So yeah, we will go now into some more specific topics, as mentioned in the beginning, starting with a little bit more advanced type of applications around the Promac Q. As I mentioned in the beginning, two main areas is more challenging application with entrained gas, or where inline quality like concentration is required on beverages, concentration measurement, alcohol measurement, or quality measurement of ice cream. And so Matthias, I'm not sure if you have a favorite here. You are out a lot in the factories.
Hey,
so,
Hege, thank you for including me into the session. Of course, I have, as a German citizen, in German, we like the beer. So I would say maybe the beer, but to be honest, just between you and me, don't tell it anybody, in summer, I like the ice cream so much. The stracciatella ice cream, that's for me.
That's great.
So please say something about ice cream.
Yeah, that's good then, because I will talk something about ice cream measurement as well, actually in the beginning. So that's a good thing. So yeah, that moves on to the topic of entrained gas. So there are different applications where the Promac Q is targeted at. One is areas where entrained gas is part of the process unintentionally. So because the liquid traps air, it could be milk in the milk receiving, for example, or high viscous fluids where it's unavoidable that some air is mixed in and it's difficult to get out. Then we have also products where gas is intentionally added as part of the process, like ice cream. And these fluids can be challenging to measure. And Promac Q is targeted to these applications to give a better solution to that. So then first, just like to say something about the type of gas entrainment. You have what we call free bubbles or suspended bubbles. Free bubbles would be things like in a glass of drinking water, where you have some larger bubbles generated and they escape very easily. These are also easily removed from the process by increasing pressure or by sitting in a tank or using air eliminators. Suspended bubbles are typically more difficult to remove. it's trapped bubbles, and they cannot so easily be removed in the process either by pressure or air eliminators. Or it could also be suspended bubbles that are intentionally there as part of the product, and obviously you don't want to remove those gas bubbles, for example, out of ice cream, because they're essential to the product. And that's the area where Promac Q really brings an advantage. And how is this done? And Promac Q is using multi-frequency technology. So a traditional colorless meter uses one frequency, so oscillates at resonance frequency, and that resonance frequency is used to determine the density. And by taking the phase shift between the inlet and the outlet of the tube, mass flow is determined. So these are the two parameters that comes out of oscillating the tubes. The gas entrainment, however, affects the performance of the measurement. And in the Promac Q, using two modes, so multi-frequency, and looking at the information coming from both these modes, comparing them, we are able to do an active compensation of the effect of gas bubbles in the measurement, and thereby have a corrected mass flow and density output from the instrument. And I mentioned in the beginning, for example, milk. Milk is one of in the food industry, one of the big areas applications for the Promac Q in the reception. Because by traveling on trucks, for example, or due to pumps, there's a lot of suspended bubbles that can be difficult to remove with air eliminators. And the other advantage in the milk receiving is that it's direct mass flow, and that helps to also achieve a better mass balance in the dairy or in the factory. And also, that has been difficult before. We're using direct mass flow because of the gas entrainment. So then Promac Q brings a double benefit by handling the gas entrainment better, but also being direct mass flow. The other area is any type of whipped product. So it could be ice cream, as I mentioned, cream cheese, different types of sweets like marshmallows or whipped cream, puddings, dessert, where gas is injected in the process, and can be difficult to measure. Often is also a very high percentage of gas included in the product. In addition to that, also the amount of gas in the product is a important quality parameter, and by using the density, one can also do not only flow measurement, but a quality measurement of these products by being able to determine the amount of gas entrained. And how is this done? We can talk about Overrun, which is in ice creams, which is the added volume of the ice cream due to the injection of the gas, or percentage of gas. This is a similar measurement, just different ways of expressing that. We can determine that amount by having the density output from the Promac Q, which is of the liquid gas mixture, and having a knowledge on the original liquid density and the pressure in the pipe is possible to calculate the volume fraction of gas under process conditions, but also then correlating it back to atmospheric conditions. Typically, this type of measurements are often done in the lab with taking a sample of the product and putting it in a cup and putting it on a scale, which is under different atmospheric conditions. And then there is a correlation back to these conditions. The advantage of having that inline is that, like with all inline quality measurements, you get the information in between the samples. So you are much more easily to see all variations and any kind of out of spec conditions that may not be picked up between samples, and also able to control the process better by having a continuous measurement of these type of measurements. So the next topic of the Promac Q is density measurement. The Promac Q has a very accurate density measurement, so different type of product quality, concentration measurements, sugar, extract of coffee, extract of beer is typical target applications for the Promac Q. The Promac Q has 0.2 kilogram per cube density accuracy, so it's the highest density accuracy of all the instruments. And so for applications where this is of great importance, the Promac Q is the best choice. And also over a variety of different process conditions of temperatures and different densities and viscosities. Density in itself is often not the target parameter, the final target parameter, but it's a concentration. So the amount of sugar, percent alcohol, percent fat in cream as an example, or percent total solids. And where density is used as a primary parameter, and a calculation is applied to calculate the final parameter for quality. So just as an example here, it's an example of Promac Q used in circulation loop of wort kettle, which enables better monitoring of the wort during boiling. And as I said, typically these are calculated values based on standards, tables, formula. And in the concentration package of the Promac, this is not only available for the Promac Q, but for all Promac. There's a set of different types of predefined fluids. So for example, sugar tables from the CUMSA or tables for alcohol measurements. And as an information, depending on the application, you may want to have a percent mass or percent volume concentration. This is possible. It's also possible to have that both then at process temperatures or at the reference conditions. So concentration based on a reference condition of 20 degrees C, for example, and then totalizing reference volume because of the mass flow. In addition to the concentration measurement, you can totalize one of the target parameters, for example, in this example, ethanol. Just a couple of data around the Promac Q. So it's a hygienic design, as I mentioned in the beginning, with 3A HDDG, has 4 line sizes, DN25 up to 100. And it's in 316L stainless steel. But just a fairly new offering around the Promac Q I'd like to mention is a special version in a DN25, which has a even higher density. So in a 1-inch version of DN25, we have a special version also with 0.1 kilogram, so even higher density accuracy. And this application can be, this kind of accuracies are very often, for example, when you're looking at alcohol concentrations after a downstream or distillation column, as an example. This is application where this can bring a lot of value. And at that point, I would like to mention also that the alcohol measurement tables that are in the transmitter are tested also according to the OML R22 by the NMI. And by that, I'd like to bring in Ronen, that he can talk a little bit about some news in the magmeter offering that we have. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you a lot, Hege.
Hege, I have a short question in between. You mentioned there are many predefined concentration data for bricks or alcohol. Is it also possible that the customer make his own data and makes a concentration table based on his own set of data?
Yes, sure. So there are a lot of predefined fluids but you also have a possibility, if you have your own tables of concentration, to generate a set of a formula that can be entered as a user-defined concentration table. Yes.
Cool, thank you. And then I got several comments on the ice cream. It's, you say in ice cream we have air entrained. Is it also possible to measure other gases, like when we have a nitrogen as injection?
Yeah. Actually, that's also very often the gas which is injected, nitrogen, and not only in ice cream, but also in products like cream cheese, chocolate pudding, or other types of food where nitrogen is injected to get the right consistency of the product.
Okay, that's it. So all the other questions we will wait for the end, because there are. So that. Thank you with Ronen. Thanks.
Okay,
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, so thanks, Hege and Matthias. So Hege mentioned and talked about the specialist product Promac Q for the challenging applications. And now Endress+Hauser has a wide range of products for all different types of applications. And now we're going to talk about products which fulfills more the need of basic process needs. And the first one we will talk about will be the Proline 10, which is a product which exists since 2003. But the new product line, so the new Proline 10 was just launched 1st of July. So we'll talk about this first, and then we'll talk about the PicoMag and also about the applications where you can use those two devices. Good. And the first one thing what both products have in common is actually different products, but what they have in common is the way how we develop those products. So the main goal, or one of the goals, was to make it easy to use and very intuitive to use for the customers. So this was one goal, to make it simple, to have also clear error messages, and this was the main goal of those products, and I hope that we fulfilled it at those two products, and the customer feedback shows so. So what I will do first, I will start with the video of the Proline 10, and it's an introduction into it, and then I will continue afterwards. So 1 second, I will share the video now. It could be that the volume is a bit higher than the way we spoke, so maybe you need to turn down a little bit the volume. So I will share it now, and now you should see the video soon.
Hi, and welcome to our product center for flow measuring technology in Switzerland. This is where our new product line, Proline 10, is gotten ready for you. Let's see what it offers. With Proline 10, we have made simplicity to our core concern, no matter where digital or physical, and independent of the product's lifecycle phase. The high contrast display automatically adjusts to the mounting alignment and functions with commonly used touch gestures.
For example, during the commissioning process, here not only the display makes your life easier, but also the integrated commissioning wizard. It provides background information and walks you through a stress and error-free setup, step by step. Even if a warning or error signal occurs during operations, Proline 10 doesn't leave you in the lurch. The guided remedy function visualizes the concrete cause and offers appropriate remedies. You choose the solution you think is the best, which leads you back to an error-free operation.
Needless to say, all of these functions not only via local display, but also wireless in real time with the help of the SmartFlow app. Along with the commissioning wizard and the guided remedy, the SmartFlow app offers you complete insight into device data and allows for parameter adjustment at all times. Despite the simplicity of Proline 10, if you want to dig deeper and take a look at the documentation, even this is a snap. By scanning the code, you get exactly what you need. As easy as that. This is Proline 10, intuitive,
direct,
and simply uncompromisingly simple.
So now you should hear and see me again. So this was a quick introduction into Proline 10, and you could see that what I said before, the simplicity aspect had a very high value during development. Also now when it comes to the marketing communication part, and we hope really to give a benefit to the customers. And the benefit would be that you can commission, operate the device faster, and yeah, more intuitively, and ideally without using the manual too much to understand what's happening. It should be very self-explainable. And as mentioned in the video as well, we have the SmartFlow app, where with this app you can operate and configure the device very easily. And what we have here is also, so Hege mentioned it as well, the new Proline 10 will include also heartbeat, which was not there before in the older version. And yeah, so this is it. I will tell you a little bit about two products which are suited for food and beverage industry. Before I do that, you see here a QR code which brings you to the ebook of Proline 10, and there you can see some more and additional information. So if you scan this one, it's also in the handout. You can get directly to the ebook. And here, as I said, yeah, so the benefit for a customer is a time saving, which we can see, and also with the overview of the large display, you can put here all different kind of variables, flow rate, totalizer, temperature, so all seen at a glance. And then with the touch gestures, it's very easy, like on a smartphone, to understand and get into it. And with the wizards, which we did, it guides you really through the steps which are needed to commission a device. Yeah, so two products which bring benefit in the food and beverage industry. So one is Promac K10. It's a new product, didn't exist before. It's a Coriolis mass flow meter, and if you need to measure especially non-conductive fluids, this would be your choice. And when it comes to conductive fluids, also more cost efficient would be then the Promac H10. The Promac 10H existed already, and it uses also same sensor. It's the transmitter and the intuitiveness which changed. And if you need it for your basic process applications and less demanding hygienic applications, then this is the product of choice. Yeah, so this was the first overview of the Proline 10. So it was really just launched recently. So if you want to get more information, contact your local Endress+Hauser sales center. And now we'll talk about PicoMag, about the second product. And PicoMag, I will show you some applications afterwards where it's used. It has been launched since around 3 years. And yeah, it is a compact device, and the goal was also to have it an intuitive device, a very compact device, and yeah, which brings benefits when space is an issue, but not only. Even though it's very compact and small and quite cost effective, you have here a device which can measure flow, temperature, and conductivity all together, and can be shown also on the display on the screen. So this is something I think you will not find so often out in the market with all those three variables. So we'll go into the applications, and what applications we have seen during the last 3 years where it's used. It's not only used in food and beverages, but also all different types of industries. But food and beverage is for sure one of the biggest industry when it comes to the sales volume. And here we have 3 areas where I want to describe. So the first one is cooling and heating circuits. So there, sometimes the temperature and also the flow is needed to know, is it cooling, heating, is it at the right temperature? Is there enough flow to cool or heat it down? And there, PicoMag is for sure brings a benefit. And also now with when it comes to the second area, which is rinsing and cleaning water, there when customers want they're more aware of the resources and to prevent to use too much of the resources like water. And if you want to use less water, you first need to know where do you use everywhere water. And in this case, the cleaning water is one area where water can be a bit reduced, the amount of water. And here there's an area where PicoMag can be used. Also sub-metering. So you have maybe the main dairy line, because we saw before in the poll a lot of people from the dairy industry are here present and joining this online seminar. And there you have different types of consumers besides the main dairy line, where you maybe want to know, okay, how much water they can consume. And I will show you afterwards an example with the seal water measurement, where PicoMag is used there. So it's using for the pump seal and in the dairy industry. And there, this would be one partial consumer as in sub-metering example. So a few functionalities of PicoMag. So it uses the same SmartFlow App as Proline 10. We have built in one knock functionality. Why did we do this? It gives you a quick glance about the settings of the iOS, about the firmware version, and so you have a quick glance when you knock on the device. Please don't use a hammer. This the PicoMag will withstand a lot, but the big hammer shouldn't be used. And the second function of this knocking is when you turn Bluetooth off, somehow you need to turn it on, and the way to do it is also with knocking. And also like Proline 10, it also adjusts if you want it. Adjusts automatically depending if it's installed vertically or horizontally. So now we come to the applications. We had one application when it came to the bottling of bottles, where we had the label. So there is a glue which holds the label to the bottle, which is used to put the label to the bottle. And the issue was there that sometimes there was not enough glue on the label, so it didn't stick. And it caused that the bottles were not conforming, so the production needed to be stopped. And in this case, PicoMag provides the information that there is enough liquid flowing through, which is needed for gluing those labels. And the second application I mentioned was the customer in Germany, Elmann, a dairy producer, and there they wanted to know, okay, how much is there enough flow to have for the seal water management. So there are generally in this application numerous pump processes utilizing the slide ring seals that ensure optimal pressure together with seal water, and thus help maintain the functionality of the seal. So this not only keeps milk from leaking into the wastewater, but also prevents seal water from getting into the milk. So in this application, they use PicoMag, and also you see here space was limited. and in this case, PicoMag could help, and also that what the customer said from the visibility point of view, that they saw it directly, this big display helped them. Then yeah, there are mentioned many of those applications. So also for food process equipment when it comes to flow control of the heating jackets. So I saw it in for example for chocolate process equipment, where you have a heating a mixer and a heating jacket, and you want to control this flow of the heating jackets. There PicoMag has been used, and also for different kinds of filtration skids to measure the filtrate and condensate. There PicoMag was used. And yeah, now I would like to show you a short video about the easiness of using PicoMag. And you will see that the transition sometimes is not so smooth. And this is because I cut the video, because I wanted to have it a bit shorter for this session. So if you see something like this, it's because of me, because of my cutting skills. So yeah, enjoy the video.
The SmartFlow app provides excellent benefits. It offers an intuitive design and a user-friendly menu structure. Additionally, you can make use of a wireless connection between your smart device and the PicoMag for very simple configuration. Both save real time and effort, even when the PicoMag is mounted in a place difficult to reach.
After logging in, you will automatically see the home screen. Here you find the basic information of the device, such as device tag, serial number, or order code.
Let's start the configuration. Here you can adjust all application-related settings, starting with the configuration of system units. As a next step, different sensor parameters can be set. Of course, you can change all default values according to your individual process requirements. After that, you will be asked to configure the two outputs. Start with output 1. Select your preferred output type from the options available. Don't worry if conditions change. The outputs can be adjusted at any time. The same applies also to the displayed values.
Remember to change the password after first use to ensure the highest possible security. And that is already the end of PicoMag's initial commissioning. Now you can either install the device into your piping, or if already installed, you can simply start measuring. By the way, flow and temperature are continuously shown on the colored display. And that's not all. In case you want to check the parameter settings on site, simply knock on PicoMag and you will immediately see all settings at a glance.
And the display as well as the SmartFlow app give insight into real-time device status and provide corresponding diagnostic information, which notifies you directly to the cause of the condition. This allows quick identification and prevention of possible errors.
Commissioning of the PicoMag is very simple using the SmartFlow app.
It strongly supports you in substantially saving time and effort. Check it out!
Okay, so now you should see my screen again. Yeah, so this was the first overview that you can see how easy it is to operate with this device. I mentioned a lot of the icons here. I'll not go into details also due to time reasons. Two things I want to highlight more is, okay, if there are no inlet and outlet fans needed. So it's a compact device, but also it can be installed very compact in a compact way. So directly after a bend or before a bend, so no issues on that. And we have produce this product on stock, so we have a fast delivery, usually within 72 hours exactly. So 3 days. Yeah. So now we'll come to the last poll And this one will take some time, and I'll go into it. You can scan it. So the idea is here that you rank the importance of the following attributes of the flow meter from very important to least important. So if you say, as an example, high accuracy of the device is for me of highest importance, you can just move it to the top. And when you say, okay, multivariable measurement is not so important for me, you just move it down. And there are 10 attributes which you put together, and so you can move them around in the way you like. I believe this will take a couple minutes to do so. So just use the link again, which was provided in the chat, or the QR code where you can use the mobile phone. So then we see directly how it's changing and what's you see as important, which also is very interesting for us to know. So I will leave this maybe a couple minutes, because then we are also getting close to the end. So it's changing quite a bit all the time, but it's good that already 16 participants or 18 or 20 did it already. Yeah, it's taking a little bit of time to do so. I'll wait maybe one more minute, because then we need to speed up to get to the end. Yeah. Okay. So maybe when we have 30, I will then continue. Okay, great. So yeah, appreciate it a lot that you participated in this. And yeah, now we'll hand over to Hege to do the summary.
Yeah, thanks, Ronen. And just to summarize before we get into that, some questions. So we covered some range of more advanced type of applications in multivariable inline quality, and in the end, Ronen was talking about Proline 10, which is the new platform, and specifically covered the Magmeter and Coriolis products for food of that, and a PicoMag device for mainly utility measurement, sub-metering, which is more common to do better, for example, water monitoring, allocation of usage, and is interesting, cost-effective device. And with that, I will give the word over to Matthias, I believe.
Yeah. Thank you, Hege, and thank you, Ronen. I think this has been a good insight on what we offer, and now the question is, how can we improve your processes? So let's go through your questions, and there are many questions, so I'm not sure if we can manage to answer here in the chat all of them. In case we cannot answer the question here in the chat, don't be worried, we will contact you then via email, and we will take care on all the questions at the end. Let's start here from top. Try to answer already a lot of them. There's maybe one for Ronen right away. So how to get the SmartFlow app? Can we download this? Is it for free? This was one of the questions.
Yeah, so it is for free. You can download it on either the App Store or in the Google Play Store. You can download it. It's for free. It can be then used for all different types of products which have Bluetooth connectivity in Endress+Hauser. So not only in the flow devices, but also there are some level devices and other devices which use also the same SmartFlow app. Yeah.
And then there is another question also for PicoMag. Can you say something about the pipe run requirements?
Yeah.
Their minimum flow rate, something like this?
So pipe run requirements, I'm not sure if I mentioned it. It's yeah, it's zero at the end, so it's no inlet or outlet runs needed, and yeah, the minimum flow rate you need to look up. So we have it starts with the DN15 device, and I'm not sure about the minimum, but it starts at very low flow rates already. Yeah.
I think we can find this information as well in the technical information, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's another interesting thing. Do we recommend some kind of calibration for PicoMag? Some frequent calibration, or is?
No, we don't recommend it. It's we do one in our facility. So and then afterwards, generally no calibration, additional calibration is needed with PicoMag. Yeah.
Okay, and then there was one question which I tried to answer in the chat. I think to both of you now, yeah, how to connect our instrument into an existing system. So I tried to answer that. Yeah, this is possible to. Yeah, you have to select the right technology for the process, but maybe you find some other words how easy or how to make it implemented into an existing system. Don't know if Hege or Ronen, if you like to try to answer this.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure the background, but maybe I can also say if it's about integration. We have different types of products with different types of communication. So as I mentioned, we have the Ethernet IP and Profinet, Profibus, Field Bus Foundation, HART. So some of the traditionals, and there are also some tools to integrate as well, depending on the product. So this may be more the generic answer. I'm not sure if you want to add something, Ronen.
I think this sums it up. I think, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a common thing as well. Is there also a pressure and temperature compensation function possible? I think this goes more to the Coriolis when it comes to concentration.
I'm not sure, but well, for concentration, so the Coriolis measures the temperature as well. So that is part of the concentration algorithm to compensate for temperature effects on the density. And pressure, if it's related to overrun, so then you would have that would be taking that information externally and calculate that compressibility effect, which is by the process pressure versus the atmospheric pressure which you are looking for. That is measured separately, but not internally in the transmitter. If that's the question. If it's related to mag meter, it could be because of conversion to mass. Ronen, if you could.
Yeah. No. Yeah. As you said, we have also in the Promac gauge temperature is also used to compensate, and also when it comes to the conductivity, we have a temperature compensated conductivity measurement. Also for PicoMag or for the Promac gauge, it is like this. And but when it comes to pressure, it is like Hege said, it would need to come from externally. We do not do this in the device itself. Yeah.
Okay, and then the last question for Hege. For ice cream again, so when it comes to this overrun and air inside, so what is the influence if there are fruit pieces in, for example, nuts? So this was one of the questions. So it means hard particles in the ice cream.
Yeah, so it depends a little bit on the particles and how it is, but from a principle, it measures the density of the mix that goes through, and so these particles would be part of that. But we have had applications like that, and they don't disturb a lot. So you may see some peaks. It's also actually possible to maybe use diagnostics function to look at this to get a feeling for that. But if it's evenly distributed, they would be part of that measurement. But it depends on the particles. It's if it's large particles, you will have an effect because it affects the actual density.
Okay, thank you. So gives me a good feeling because my favorite ice cream is the stracciatella with the chocolate pieces inside. So, and I'm happy that we can manage that. Okay, so for all the other open questions, we will contact you very soon with a question, but I think most of them are answered already. So what I like now just to thank Hege and Ronen for your nice introduction into the news of in our instrumentation of flow, and for all the participants, I hope to see you again for the next seminars next week. We have temperature and liquid analysis. 27th is temperature and 29th next week is liquid analysis, again 2 sessions. If you like to get more information, please visit us at endress.com or contact your local Endress+Hauser organization. You can watch the live webinars and recordings. You will find the link in the handout already. You can sign up there as well for other future Endress+Hauser seminars. And you can see all the recordings. That means you can all the past seminars we had, you can check there as well. And you can find there the links in the handout for these recordings. That's it from our side. Thank you very much for your time and for your interest, and hope to get a good business with you and hope to see you in the upcoming seminars again. Thank you very much to all of you and have a good day and stay healthy at the end. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening.